All right, real quick, my name is Craig Balkin. I'm the CEO of a company called Cloudwire. CEO is a funny term. There's like 6 of us, but when we deal with things, people want to talk to the CEO. All right, so standard plug. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Twilio. We serve a little niche. We're a Twilio Premier Partner. Our job is to transact text messages over SMS Short Codes, and that's what we do. We are a very proud small business, and I say that proudly. We've been in business since 2006, existing in a market where a lot of big people could literally crush us, okay, including Twilio. But in 2011, we got smart and joined up with them, and now they filter all of the shared shortcode business down to us, which is pretty cool. The API is our only source of revenue, and that's pretty important as we get into this Postman chat. So let's move on. What's Postman to a simple guy like me? And I'm sure I am the simplest guy here because I cannot develop anything. It's an idiot-proof tool, okay? Postman allowed me, with an understanding of our legacy API, to dictate my intent for what the next generation of our product was going to look like, and I could communicate with my developers, okay? Because we could communicate through Postman collections. And I could look at payloads, and I could look at parameters and all that sort of thing, and make adjustments on the fly. It's a sales star, and this is very important, especially for this talk. Postman is very involved in our sales process, and it increased our close ratio by 23% since we've started using it. Yes, you're welcome. All right, they're not paying me for this, by the way, but they should. So this is important too, really, from my perspective and why we close deals, okay? Because it allows me as a non-developer to speak to our clients' dev teams and get them up to speed quickly, which at the end of the day saves the client money, okay? And that's important. Postman is efficiency. Efficiency is money. No engineer is required to make the sale. And that's pretty cool because for us it used to be. And I'm sure you are all aware of how expensive you are. Okay? Fast test drives means faster sales, and it does shorten the API dev cycle. So, I've already kind of run through this, and we'll get to the good stuff, but just so you're aware, I could easily identify and document everything for the team, communicate my intent, pre-connect. This is cool too. I was able, because I understand Postman, to pre-connect the Twilio API methods that we needed to develop our product and get it to our team, okay? And that means less time for our team to actually go out and have to read the Twilio API when I can just put it in a box and say, here, okay? This is all we need, and this is what it's gonna do, all right? That means we get going faster. All right, Runner, which is cool, allowed us to save cash because we could pre-QA the API. And, as I already mentioned, save time with the developers not reading the API documentation. So, most importantly, talking about sales, if you're in the API business like we are, all right? As you know, there's been a documentation revolution, API-Matic, API, those are super cool tools, no doubt, to get developers up to speed, but Postman builds use cases, okay? Custom use cases, all right? When you have an API like ours, we have 29, 30 published methods, 45, 46 unpublished methods, all right? And somebody comes to you and they want to use SMS in their product. Well, it's pretty simple. They tell me what they want to do, build a collection, a custom collection, and get it out to them and get them going in no time, okay? And that, from our perspective, that closes deals, all right? So here's me. That's me talking to a developer, like for real, okay? Which is pretty cool for me, because I was in the green room listening to all the very smart people talk, and I was like, I know what they're saying. I'm following along. I got this. So, this is just a standard example of a company, Weston Interactive, one of our clients that does some keywording stuff for a variety of different applications across shortcodes, wanted to get going on our API. As you can see, pretty quick. And inside the custom collection I can build, I can also describe, hey, this is what you need. 4 or 5 calls to the API, and in 4 or 5 minutes, they're up and going. It's that simple. So we talked about Twilio. I want to talk about the Twilio way just real quick from my perspective and how it's all tied back together, okay? When anybody goes to interview at Twilio, all right, cook, baker, candlestick maker, it doesn't matter, all right? Whether they're a developer or not, they're required to build an app on the Twilio API. What does that mean? It means that anybody on the sales team knows their API incredibly well, okay? And that is important, all right? Why? Because I get a ton of calls for people looking to lift us off of Twilio, okay? You ask a bunch of different questions, and they always say, you know, let me get back to you on that, and I'm sorry, that's BS, okay? No, there's no getting back to me. You have one chance to make an impression, all right? Not that I would leave Twilio anyways if anybody from Twilio is here. We're staying. But, you know, hey, we listen because I want to see what the pitches are. And I think it's very important that I get a lot of calls where people don't know what they're talking about. That's ridiculous. So, you know, to conclude, Postman allows us to clearly communicate with each other internally. From a sales point of view, it allows us to make a first impression, and a very, very good one. We better understand our product, okay? You know, I'm not a developer, and I can communicate with anybody about our product, what methods they need. Yeah, I've even got a little bit into, you know, languages and what the pros and cons are, but, you know, if somebody's gonna get that deep into the woods, I'll get a developer, but it's rarely, rarely needed. Because at the end of the day, you developers, you get going on your own, and if I give you a tool to get going on your own, away you go, and you can do so in a short period of time. So, you know, lastly, this is very important to me because it's made a difference in our success. Again, we're a small business that exists in an environment where people literally could step on us at any time. When you treat your prospect or your client's time like it's yours, you're going to close deals. So, lastly, I think I got through that pretty quick. I didn't time it. But in any case, you got any questions? That's my V card. It's available if you want to talk. I like to talk. I got 4 kids. As you can imagine, talking to adults is like really cool. So I don't really care what you want to talk about. You can feel free to call or text me, okay? And that's it. Any questions? Somebody wants a mug, right? Yes, I am a Chicago Bears fan. Whew. Come on, man. We suck. Don't boo me. Yes?
So how long did it take you to ramp up on understanding the product?
You know, from my perspective, for a guy who's not very smart, as I said, it's an idiot-proof tool. It took me a few months of playing with it to really get the hang of it and understand it to a point of where, you know, I could actually build my own test cases and runner. You know, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I'm where I need to be. Obviously, they're working on new things, and I'll work on trying to learn that. So, you know, we can run cheaply because we have to run cheaply, okay? We're not big. We don't have the luxury of, I don't have the luxury of going down to developers and saying, you know, what if we did this, guys? Because that's very expensive for me. You know what I mean? So, in any event, yes, sir? Oh, sorry, Mike.
I'm trying to understand how big you are. Can you?
Not very big.
Can you tell us the number of employees?
6.
6. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys actively hiring?
Are we actively hiring?
Not that I'm looking. The reason I am because I'm going to segue to another question. I assume you're using Postman Enterprise. What level of Postman are you using? Is it
We use the basic version of Postman.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
I thought you might.
And this is our advantage of working in small teams. You know, I mean, I was listening to some of the bigger players out there talk about rules and sharing APIs between teams. We drink beer and we just do stuff. Wow. You know? Those are what we call big company problems. Okay. We don't have that. But that doesn't mean that we don't have the luxury of, you know, just going out and blowing money. We have to pay attention to what we're doing, and we have to operate cheaply. Postman helps us do it. We close deals, we get stuff developed faster. Anytime that's happening is saving me money. And at the end of the day, it filters down to my kids.
How
So
long have you guys
what's the
been
difference?
around?
What's that?
How long have you been, how long is
2006.
Oh, great, congratulations.
Oh,
That's good.
thank you. Yes, sir. Wait for the mic.
Are you also using a CI/CD process in your development of the APIs?
I told you we were small. What is that?
Is a continuous integration and continuous deployment. That's for the fastest delivery.
We drink beer, man. I say, hey, do this, and they do it, for a beer.
Okay.
Explain it to me in layman's terms. What am I missing?
So if I have to ship a product, right? So it has to go to the stages, like from the development to the production or the QA and then to production. So you just create a pipeline and then you just build it and then deploy it and then release, publish to the.
From our perspective, the way that we did this, okay, because I had started to learn Postman quite a while ago, and when we started to build our new platform, everything was done in Postman. Because I had, at that point, understood our legacy API, and I knew everything that I wanted, and I knew everything I wanted to do, so I documented it in Postman, and away they went. And that's all we used. I mean, I wrote a little bit of a spec, okay, to kind of describe the processes. Why are you creating a keyword, or why are you creating a sub-account? All right, that's self-explanatory for the most part, but all of that stuff has to be linked together, okay? How, why, whatever the case may be. Other than that, we did it all in Postman.
So if you make a change to your existing API, how you make sure that you're not breaking any existing changes?
Well, we do it inside a dev environment, and that's really what it comes down to. But everything is locked down. We haven't made any changes. Now, keep in mind, we just launched this a little while ago. So, we're kind of sitting tight. Everything is locked down for now. In terms of worrying about changes, again, we're a small business, man. We roll on the fly. That's how we do things. Any other questions? Last one. Sorry, last question.
I'm the lucky one.
You are
My
lucky.
question is, prior to 2006, what business were you in?
What business was I in prior
Yeah,
to
were you working
2006?
for cell companies?
Toll free. I was working in telephony with toll-free numbers. I mean, that's a story for another day. But we had worked with a lot of automotive dealers, and that's where this idea came from. And that's how we got started, was integrating into automotive CRMs to transact text messages. So, hey, Craig, you need new wipers on your car, it's $20. Is that okay? Yes, good to go. All via SMS. And that's what I did before that. So thank you, everyone. I'm sorry, sir, by the way, I don't think you get a mug, but I appreciate the question.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep, thank you.